ready. So, thank you for the very generous introduction. I want to ask a question. How many of you in this room have made New Year's resolutions before? Let me see a show of hands. Okay, great. From all of you, how many of you have maintained those New Year's resolutions until March of that year? I don't see anybody. Okay, Jack. Yeah, it's actually very normal because we all try to do change in our lives at one point or another, and change seems so simple, but yet it's slippery. We don't, we have good intentions, but we never sort of stick to it. Something happens, we trip and get off track. So my talk today is going to be about change, and I'm not going to give you statistics or technicalities. I'm just going to tell you about my perspective and my experience. So currently I live in Beijing in China, and as part of my work I run seminars and workshops both for adults and children. I like working with children because I believe that it's never too early for kids to be aware that the outcome of their lives could be in their hands. And if we empower our children to hold on to their dreams and ideas, there's a chance that they actually might manage to manifest their dreams. So I'm doing this workshop one day. As usual, average age about 10 years old. I show them this little tool that I have. I'm going to put the bottle down because show them the little tool that I have to map current reality, understand the current reality, the here and now, and see what in that current reality we want to change, and then map out and draw the desired reality. What is it that we would like to change? Very easy tool. I use the same tool for adults and for kids. Very simple tool. Get it? So we know the here and now. We know what we want in the future. Perfect. Action plan. Ready to go. Simple. I give them 15 minutes, report back, and I wait. Before 15 minutes is up, an 8-year-old comes up, and he's excited. He shows me his sheet of paper like that. He's done. He's done. Okay. What does it say? And I asked my co-organizer and translator, so I said, because it was in Chinese character. I said, and she looks at me puzzled. She's like, he wants to be an alien. I was like, oh no. I've never had any of my participants try to be an alien. I was like, okay, well, so I talked to him. I said, so you want to go from being human to being an alien? Yes. Okay. And you find that this is a reasonable, achievable goal? Yes. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, astronaut, go to a planet, live there a few years, permanent residence, ask for citizenship. That's all I know, And so I'm like, well, when did you want to achieve this goal? He's like, next weekend. You're like, oh. I was like, do you have a plan? He said, I'll buy a costume. So for him, it was so simple. He gets a costume, he's an alien. But I'm such an adult, such a grown-up, boring, complicated mind. I'm thinking astronaut, 30 years, 40 years, maybe. And this is what I want to talk about. The minute an idea comes in our hearts, is trying to be, pop out, trying to be born. We adults, as we grow up, bombarded with, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't have any resources? Oh no, what if I fail? Oh, what if I fall? Oh, but what if I manage and nobody likes me? And it's all these what ifs that we have to the infinite that prevent us from having our ideas manifest. So what to do? What is it? What is it about change? One thing that holds us back is fear. My grandmother always asked me, what are your 2 options? There was never more than 2 options with my grandmother. So it was like, what? 2 options. So what's the 2 options with fear? In my world, okay, I'm afraid, right? So I can spend time fantasizing and getting anxious, letting my BP go up, just being afraid and thinking about it and what. If I choose and we choose to go that route, that idea will never see the light of day. Accept it. If that's what we want, do it like that. Second way of dealing with fear, accept it. Say, yeah, I'm afraid. I'm scared. I can hardly stand. I'm so scared. Put it on the shelf for a second and take one step. Just one step. We don't have to think of the 3rd, the 15th, the 108th step, just one step. Because courage is not about not being afraid. Courage is about being afraid and still doing it, and still taking one step. That's what courage is about. So when we have an idea in our hearts, let's take fear on the shoulder a second and dare to take one step. There's another point I want to share with you about change. So now that we know the here and now, the current reality, what we want to change, and we have a clear idea of what that future reality is when that change is manifest, the next thing is about purpose. Let us be clear about the purpose. Why do I want this change? What's in it for me? What's in it for my community? How is the world going to be different if I choose to take one step to make this idea manifest, or if I choose not to do it? What is the opportunity cost? What might never happen if I don't do it? Being clear with the purpose does something very special. It sort of gives rise to commitment. Commitment that comes, I don't know from where, but it comes from within. It's mad commitment that keeps us on track, no matter what the challenges are that we face, no matter what the setbacks, the breakdowns. When that commitment is there and we keep our eye on the desired reality, we keep our heart on the purpose, the commitment keeps us going. And for every breakdown we experience, and for every setback we have, when there's commitment, we are able to reconfigure ourselves. We're able to rewire, to reposition, rethink, so that we have breakthroughs that's going to get us to that desired reality. That's what purpose does. So change is really when something completely extraordinary, unfathomable, if there's such a word, happens, and it becomes an ordinary part of our reality. It just becomes normal. Wow, this thing that we thought was an impossible idea is here now today, like it's normal. Big deal. So the process of change, whether we're thinking of change in our personal lives, and that's nothing small. Extraordinary change doesn't have to be at the global level. Even the little changes we do in our lives, the little ideas that we give permission to rise and happen, are extraordinary. The same when the greater changes happen that we all witness, that's also extraordinary. The process of change is all one and the same, only the scale is different. And in this, I want to share 2 stories with you. First, I'm going to take a sip of water so I can start coughing. Hold on. I'm being quick, so I don't waste seconds. 2 stories I want to share with you. The one story is in my personal life in 3rd grade. And, okay, I know you don't believe me when I tell you I'm a shy person. I'm truly a very shy person that has gone around and over and pretends to be an extrovert, but I'm actually really shy. So I get into 3rd grade, and it's a huge courtyard. And I learned that in 3rd grade, there's an implicit rule. Unless you have an older sibling, or you can fight, accept the fact that you're going to be bullied for the rest of your life. You're like, I didn't have an older sibling at that time, and I didn't want to be bullied. What's the remaining option? Show them I can fight. Except I can't fight. So what are the 2 options? Like my grandmother said, 2 options. 1, pick a fight with everybody, every day. It would be a drag because I can't fight and there's no knowing that how it would end up. Second option, pick the biggest bully and kick his ass. Great idea. Oh yeah, right on. Except me. Problem is that I'm not going to tell you I did it. I didn't do it. I stayed here, and my body sort of went by itself, found this big bully, and I'm watching from here going, don't do that, don't do that. And to the big bully and said, today, 4 o'clock, you are dead. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm thinking, oh. Before you know it, that fight starts. before you know it, I'm in the courtyard. Before you know it, kids were throwing punches, and I'm standing, I'm about to faint, I'm standing, I'm about to faint, I'm standing. Whew, teacher breaks up the fight. Oh, save of a lifetime. But you know what? It took all the courage I had in my little body to do that. But what I managed to do is reach that impossible reality that nobody, but nobody can bully this girl right here. It was done. And this was in my personal life. Nothing big, but for me, in my little life, it was extraordinary. But now let's talk about something more serious. And I need to take a breath because I need to take a breath. So before I talk about this, I want to ask you a question. Look around you, please. To your left, to your right. Look behind you. Please do. What do you see? I hope you see what I see. I really do hope you see what I see, because I see a room full of beautiful people. I see a room full of people from all races and ethnicities sitting together, here, together, like it's normal, sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, trying to create a future like it's normal. My friends, it is far from being normal. This reality we have today in South Africa is only a result of an extraordinary dream, an idea that some people had the nerve and courage to have many decades ago, when they said South Africa is not a nation that is to be divided along racial lines. South Africa is not apartheid. South Africa is a beautiful country where all South Africans of all races, ethnicities, and religion can live freely, in peace, with equal opportunity, under one flag. People, this is a mad idea. Look, I'm not South African, you know, but I can't believe it today. I can't believe it. Because they had this idea at a time when most of Africa was still under colonial rule. They had this idea at a time when even the United States was practicing institutional segregation. Would you agree it's extraordinary to have this idea? Do you think that it took courage to come forth with this idea? I'm sure there was fear at some point. But you know what? Sometime in the 50s, when they decided to get together and write the Freedom Charter and say that it's time to start the journey to find, create this South Africa that they were envisioning, they did it one step at a time, one, together, one step at a time. And for every step they took, they suffered. For every step they took, they shed their blood. Why? Because of the commitment, of the purpose. Because they wanted future generations to have this ordinary reality we have today, of sitting together like this. It's unimaginable. And I have a question for you today. The world is not perfect. Our lives are not perfect. So for every problem that we see, every challenge that we see, I know that in each of your hearts there are extraordinary ideas trying to come and see the light of day. I know. You each have incredible ideas in your hearts. Here's my question. Is it time for one step? God bless. Ooh, let me know.